You think you've heard every audition story, until the moment the lights go quiet, the crowd holds its breath, and a boy opens his mouth to sing just one note. Before this story ends, you'll understand why the entire theater stood frozen, why Simon Cowell forgot how to speak, and why this moment became unforgettable. If stories like this move your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because moments like these deserve to be shared with the world. The stage lights of America's Got Talent burned bright, but standing at the center was a small figure who looked almost swallowed by the size of the room. His name was Mateo Cruz, a 16-year-old Filipino boy with neatly combed black hair, worn sneakers, and a jacket that looked borrowed rather than owned. His hands trembled slightly as he adjusted the microphone. From the judges' table, Simon Cowell leaned back with folded arms, his expression calm but unreadable. The audience murmured softly, not expecting much. Another singer, some thought. Another dreamer about to face reality. Mateo introduced himself in a gentle voice, his accent warm and musical. When asked why he was here, he paused. His eyes flickered toward the ceiling lights as if he were searching for courage hidden somewhere above. He spoke about his late grandfather, a man who worked as a jeepney driver in Manila and played old Elvis Presley songs on a battered radio every night. As a child, Mateo would sit beside him, listening to that voice crackle through static, imagining stages he'd never seen. When his grandfather passed away, all Mateo inherited was that radio and a promise to never stop singing. Simon nodded politely, not yet impressed, while the audience offered a few sympathetic claps. Then Simon asked the question that always decides everything. "So, Mateo, what are you going to sing today?" Mateo swallowed hard and answered softly, "I will sing like Elvis, but only one note." A ripple of confusion swept across the room. One note? A few people laughed, unsure if this was a joke. Simon raised an eyebrow, his skepticism clear. "One note?" he repeated. Mateo nodded. "Yes, sir. One note, because sometimes one sound can say everything." The music did not start. No backing track. No band. Just silence. Mateo closed his eyes, gripping the microphone with both hands as if it were the only thing holding him upright. In that silence, the crowd shifted, restless, waiting for something, anything, to happen. Then, without warning, Mateo sang a single note. It was deep, rich, and impossibly controlled. The sound rolled out slowly, vibrating through the air like a low, steady heartbeat. It wasn't loud, but it was powerful. It carried emotion, pain, hope, and longing all at once. The theater fell completely silent. People stopped breathing. The note lingered, perfectly steady, filled with warmth and soul, echoing with the unmistakable spirit of Elvis, yet somehow entirely Mateo's own. Simon's arms dropped from his chest. His eyes widened, locked onto the boy on stage. The note continued, unwavering, pure. Some audience members covered their mouths. Others felt tears rising without knowing why. When the note finally faded into silence, it felt like the world had shifted slightly off its axis. For a moment, no one clapped. Not because they didn't like it, but because they didn't know how to react. Then the applause erupted like thunder. People jumped to their feet. Cheers filled the room. Mateo opened his eyes, shocked, as if he had woken from a dream. His lips trembled, and his eyes filled with tears. Simon Cowell remained silent. He stared at Mateo, searching for words that wouldn't come. When he finally leaned toward the microphone, he stopped again, shook his head slowly, and let out a quiet breath. "I don't know what to say," Simon admitted, his voice softer than anyone had ever heard it. "I've judged thousands of singers. Some technically perfect. Some incredibly loud. But what you just did was pure feeling. You reminded us why music exists." The other judges nodded in agreement, praising Mateo's courage and originality. But what mattered most wasn't the praise, it was the look on Mateo's face. He wasn't smiling for fame or victory. He was smiling because, in that one note, he had spoken to the world and felt heard for the first time. Backstage, Mateo later explained that growing up wasn't easy. His family struggled financially. Some nights, dinner was rice and hope. He practiced singing quietly so he wouldn't disturb neighbors. He had been told more than once that dreams didn't pay bills. But every time he felt like giving up, he remembered his grandfather humming Elvis tunes in the dark, believing in a future he would never see. That audition changed everything. Not because it guaranteed fame, but because it proved something far more important: that courage doesn't need volume, that talent doesn't need perfection, and that sometimes, one honest moment is stronger than 1,000 rehearsed performances. As the episode aired, people across the world shared the clip. Comments poured in from viewers who said that single note reminded them of loved ones they had lost, dreams they had buried, and hope they had forgotten. Mateo became a symbol, not of success, but of sincerity. And that is why this story matters. Because somewhere out there, someone is holding back, afraid that what they have isn't enough. Afraid they need more words, more money, more approval. But Mateo showed us that if you speak from the heart, even with just one note, the world might finally listen. If this story touched you, let it be a reminder to believe in your own voice, no matter how small it feels. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep sharing stories that inspire courage. Because sometimes, the quietest sound can create the loudest change.